Good evening, my Dharma friends. It's another week. I don't have any clue at all what I want to speak today. So can you suggest something?
Question and answer. I don't have a question yet, but question and answer.
Question and answer?
Yeah. Because we normally do that end of the month, right?
Yes. So perhaps we can do that, and we can study together. Of course, but sometimes, in the Forest tradition, that you respect the monks and nuns, and therefore anything they say, you keep saying, "Oh, you're right," and it's not all the case, all the times at all. And I really wanted to be, square and clear for what we do. Of course, that being monks and nuns, we make mistakes too. And from there, we'd like to learn from you too. So it would be a mutual respect and mutual help for us together. So, please, questions, Q&A. I know that over the holiday season, especially that Black Friday, so it might be someone that has some good experience to share with. No?
Not yet.
Question. How to forgive someone you hate?
That's a very tough one. Listen,
How to forgive someone?
forgive someone that you really hate.
Oh, you really hate? Oh. Well, I need to learn a lot more vocabulary. So, sometimes I need him to translate. Tâm từ là Thầy.
Compassion.
Compassion. Yeah, we need a lot of compassion to forgive someone. We are human, so we all have mistakes sometimes, and that's why we all need to learn.
What if that person doesn't know what is compassion?
Normally, we practice first, showing how attitude from us and thinking about it. And the more they question, the more they have opinion, thinking about why and what, and with our mistake, our experience, we can explain and share the experience to them. That's my experience.
Please.
I'm curious. It oftentimes depends. Is it someone you work with, or is it like a family member?
A family member. Like I visit someone this week. She got a brain cancer and she lost one set of her hearing because of the surgery, and she thinks it's the doctor's fault. Even though the doctor already told her there's a risk, but she not just hurt her doctor, she told me she hates her mother because her mother also had a brain surgery, and the brother and sister of her mother also had a brain surgery.
So it's not somebody that you hate, but
No.
somebody you know
No,
that has that kind of hate.
someone
Yeah.
I visit today.
Yeah.
The Buddha said something in his teachings. He taught us to do this, 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 this. Have we done what he taught us? Not quite. And so what we do with our loved ones, we quite often tell them to do this, 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 this. And when they did not do it, we raise a defilement against them. So sometimes, it's good that we look back from within us. Have I done what the Buddha taught us? Buddha taught me. Most often that I haven't completely done what the Buddha taught. Therefore, I'm not genuinely clean. I'm not genuinely perfect. And by looking at that, I can see faulties in others and then faulties in myself. When I see the faulties in myself, I can easily forgive others. Because quite often that we often have a comparison. We compare others with us. And we forget that we're not perfect too. And from that case, it gives rise to a love and kindness and compassion toward others and toward us. By that case, we are easily to forgive other people, and we easily to forgive ourselves. I used to use my own slogan. I'm so perfect. Listen, I'm so perfect for my imperfections. And by seeing that, then I can forgive and forget others quite easily. So that is my experience. And of course that is one way. And through the practice, especially with the practice of mindfulness, in terms of the third foundations of mindfulness, which is the mind. We study the mind and we understand every element, every little corners, what mind is. And from there, we can see that we cannot expect, we will not, and we will never see a perfect human. Like Lisa has said, that as being a human, we are entitled to make mistakes. And by seeing that, we forgive easily. if we do have to compare, then can we forgive Hitler? Can we forgive Pol Pot, who kills millions of people? So by looking at the whole spectrum, by looking at the investigation, the whole spectrum of the mind, you can see that this is how it works. And by the process of working mind, and this is the natural normalcy of the mind, then we can easily forgive and forget. Now, remember the natural normalcy of the mind. This is how it is. There we go.
No, you go ahead, Marcus.
No, you go.
Right. Well, this is just my opinion. First of all, I don't think we have to forgive, of course. You know, some people don't deserve to be forgiven, in my opinion. You said like Hitler or Pol Pot. I would never forgive them. Why would I do that? On the other hand, what I see is that if I get real angry inside, like I hate somebody, that's not hurting them. It just hurts me. They don't know anything about my hatred. It's just burning inside of me. It's just damaging my heart. So I found for myself, I have to get over hatred to just protect myself. So the part about forgetting to me seems more relevant, to just let it go, but not forgive them. Now, in the case of the relative, so it's your relative?
No, it's my friend's friends.
Your friend, okay. Well, you know, maybe the doctor really did do something wrong. You know, it's possible, I don't know.
The thing is, she hates her mother.
Hates her mother.
Yes, because her mother, she thinks she got the gene from her mom.
Right. Well, of course, that's not rational, you know. She got her life from her mom, and maybe she did get the gene from her mom. You know, her mom had something similar, right? Yeah, so maybe she did get the gene from her mom. Well, I got some bad things from my parents too, I'm sure. You know, I'm far from perfect, so I inherited some bad and I inherited some good. There are good things about me. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to hate your parents, to me. To me, it doesn't make sense to hate anybody. Because again, it just hurts me. It doesn't hurt the other person. So John F. Kennedy, he very famously said, it's not quite correct, but he said, don't get angry, get even. Yeah, so it doesn't help to get angry. It just helps to do something real, to take a real step, you know. Anger, I don't think really helps the person who gets angry. You go ahead, Marcus. Finish talking.
Yeah, so that situation, that one's different. I was trying to say, like, if you're angry at someone that's, you know, not nice, then that's different. But if here, you know, angry about, you know, the genes that we inherit, that's just the luck of the draw. And so I was just going to add, like, you know, whatever happens to us for a purpose. And then we don't get angry at what happens. But anything that's a negative sometimes, it's a positive. So not everything that's negative is a positive. So yeah, it was unfortunate that someone has to go through surgery and all that, but then I'm sure she appreciates a lot more, you know, being more in the moment and appreciate everything around her, because we don't appreciate the gratitude until we're not well.
May I ask, is the lady in a terminal condition? Is she probably going to die pretty soon, or do you know?
So far the doctor told her that the cancer has been removed, but like it's not counseling, and I just be a volunteer there and trying to help out.
And I was going to add too, that's just her gut reaction. Everyone reacts to our impermanence differently. And so I don't think she really hates her mom. That's just how she feels now. And why did I inherit these terrible genes? It's just my mom had this condition. I must inherit from my mom. And now I'm frustrated with my mom. But really, it's a shock to them. We assume we'll live until 80. And now the impermanence is that, it could be a few days, a few years. There's no guarantee that we will expire well into our 80s and 90s.
What if she doesn't know about impermanence because she never practiced Buddhism?
Yeah, there are some books, some things that she can look up and read, hear. She doesn't have to read them to listen, just to cope. It's a lot of us, we're chasing the dream. It's an illusion that we think we'll live forever, and we just don't know that it's, we only live by one breath. That's it.
Please. Yesterday we had a long, lengthy discussion with a friend about such a thing. And I came to the matter's evolutions and mental evolutions. Somehow in myself, I'm 100% convinced that sooner or later she's going to realize that the mental evolutions, it's going to come, it's going to go toward. So even though that right now she doesn't recognize impermanence, for instance, anything like that, and we don't need to reinforce her to understand such and such, but let the nature take courses on her own. And it is so natural that we're gonna come to that process of learning sooner or later. It's just because it's part of life. It's part of life. Yesterday, I've read in news, a father, 41 years old, and the son, 14 years old. They both involved in a robbery business, and they both get caught. And many comments about being a parent. We brought a being into life. We don't know what to do. So we took him along and make him become a robber. Isn't fair. It's a terrible thing. And such and such and such. There are four kinds of people. The kind of people that don't need to teach, only observe, and then they're going to change it right away. And then another kind of people that really need a lesson in order for change, and then other people that need a punishment for change in such a case. So John F. Kennedy said his famous quote that don't get
angry,
get even. What does it mean when we say get even with?
Right.
Do we go teeth for teeth, eyes for eyes?
He means don't get emotional, basically.
Okay.
But do what you need to do to look out for your interests.
Okay,
and
then
to protect yourself.
that's a good one. I might rephrase that. Instead
Right.
of get even, I don't get angry, get equanimous.
That's better.
Is that right? It's more clear instead of, because when we heard this the word get even with, so it might be.
It's very competitive.
Yes.
Even, you know.
Yes.
But he was in a very competitive position. You know,
Yes.
you're in a great position of responsibility.
Yes. So it's great that we get equanimous in every situation. What you have shared is part of the normal working mind. If we can see that, the creation of the mind is indefinite. A lot of horrible things that I never heard before, I can see it now. And then in the future, there are more and more and more and more, much less to talk about relationship between the parents and sons and parents and children and such and such. I totally agree with Daniel that it hurts ourselves more. The other they don't know. But if we don't forgive, then that residue stays in our mind. Sooner or later, that residue is gonna become a bomb. I can see that in the relationship between my brother's daughters and himself. So the Buddha said it was his only love and compassion can heal, can solve everything. And it's actually true. It's actually true that only love and compassion can heal and solve everything. If we can apply that. And of course that in his position, he said that because he can do it. We ourselves as human beings, we cannot forgive and forget that easily. But as we experience the issues that we hate most, remember the issues that we hate most, no matter what that issue is, sooner or later we're going to change the perspective. I truly see that in myself on that, and by the way, thanks to impermanence. With that impermanence, we cannot change. Is that right? Yes. So impermanence is the most precious thing, and yet the worst thing, because from good it can change to bad. But going back to being mindfulness, we are mindful, we have discernment, we see what's bad, what's good, and if it's bad, we don't do. If it's good, we proceed. So that's what it is.
Francisco, were you going to say something?
I wanted to say something kind of to, there's, when a person has a illness like that, they go through different stages, frustrated, anger, sadness, and eventually acceptance. So I think probably the person is possibly going through that step that, they're eventually going to accept and, forgive and all that. So that's kind of how he mentioned it, love towards yourself to that, so I think it just steps
Oh,
We all go through those.
yes, thank you. And we all can experience that when it's just a simply cold or simply headache, we become grumpy. It's all right. Yes. If we are not really perfect, we have a toothache, we become grumpy. Much less that she has a terrible illness, right? Brain cancer is a horrible thing. It's not that easy. It's not easy to deal with. So in Buddhist psychology, that the matters that really fluctuates the mental emotions too. So it can change her, and out of that, fear and expectations are two elements. In such a case that she goes against the doctor, she's feared for her death. Therefore, she goes to the doctor with an expectation to cure that. But whoever that can say that okay, it's 100% curable? No, it's not. Then it comes to we have to understand this is part of life. It's part of life. I keep saying that to myself because of as of right now, my mom is having maybe less than 10% left, and I totally accept that. Totally accept that. It's just a matter of going back, to ourselves from within. We have been reached out enough. It's time to reach in, to understand what's going on, to deal with what the remaining times. Because sooner or later, we're gonna come to that conclusion. And coming to that conclusion, today I heard that a very young lady passed away in her 22. She was only 22 years old. So the sooner, the better. The sooner, the less suffering we create for ourselves. Please.
I was just thinking of, and thank you for the topic, just times in my life that I've been in tremendous grief, and sometimes I think the most loving thing to do is to just hold space for the pain and let it be, and there's nothing to fix, there's nothing to do, but just be there as a witness, because it sounds like you're not sure how to handle her pain or whomever. It's been a hard one for me. My pain is different than experiencing and holding space for someone else's pain and grief. I think it's almost harder. But it is, I think, just in being on the receiving end of that, like I said, I have felt the most love there than any words or anything else.
Please, Daniel.
Yeah, again, relating to forgiving. Sometimes for me, instead of trying to forgive somebody, I just try to understand them better, like what caused them to do what they did. And I think a lot of people who do bad things, maybe they don't even really understand how much they're hurting somebody else. So, and they may have, some people, like you were saying, Hitler or Pol Pot, maybe partly it was the way they were brought up or something, or the society they lived in. So try to understand the source of what they do. And even bad people, they suffer too. Everybody suffers.
Yes.
And they may even suffer a lot more. Did the situation, did it affect you a lot, or just something you know about, the situation with the friend with the cancer and all that?
No, I'm just observer.
Just an observer. Yeah.
Please, Daniel.
Well, I could share something a little. So related to doctors, I had a very bad encounter with a doctor about 2 months ago. I went to a specialist. The doctor was not interested in why I came in or trying to help me. The doctor had a certain procedure that they wanted to do, and they were just pushing that. I'd made it very clear before I came in that it was not something that I was even considering. And so instead of helping with what I was suffering from, I was really just suffering from something that was rather painful and debilitating. The doctor went off on a tangent to something else and also gave me a fair amount of misinformation. This procedure that the doctor was pushing, I asked, well, are there side effects or sometimes complications? And they assured me, no, done this on hundreds of patients, never had a problem. I know that's false, it's 100% false. Anyway, so it was a little hard to know what to do after that. It was a little difficult for me to deal with. Basically, it just, moved on. It was kind of a waste, but there wasn't much I could do about it. I don't know.
Do you mean the doctor lied to you? There's no side effect.
I believe the doctor did lie. Yeah. The doctor actually did. The doctor actually did some procedures. It's a long story. Did some procedures during the visit very quickly that were of no benefit and that will make my future health care more difficult because he's already done them, and so they were already reimbursed. But on the other hand, I can understand a little about the doctor. It's very stressful for him, I can tell. He was 40 minutes late, so that was part of the reason it was so difficult for him. He was already behind schedule. If I'd been smarter, I just would have said, look, you're 40 minutes behind. Can I just come in another day? I should have just forced that instead of letting the situation continue. So it was partly my fault. Also, in the next room over, I could hear this big argument going on with another patient. There was some stressful situation in the next room over, and they were kind of yelling at each other. And so I should have already gotten the intuition that this was a kind of a bad environment, and I should have possibly avoided it. It was just hard to know what to do. So yeah, I could tell the doctor was under a lot of stress, and just hard to know. Maybe he woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or financial difficulties. Just hard to know.
Relate to earlier your statement about trying to understand. That's part of forgiveness too, because when we understand, then we forgive. Yeah, so it's easy.
Yeah, if you hold a grudge inside, then it hurts. It hurts me. And I've done that before.
Next question, please.
So I have a question, and it's back to grief. So I just lost my dad a couple weeks ago, and I'm just not myself, right? And I understand holding space for it, but are there some practices I can do that will just help me just kind of feel a little bit better or more focused? Because I feel like I'm just not myself. I ran a red light today. Like I just wasn't even paying attention.
May I ask how old your dad was?
Oh, he was very old.
Very old.
He was 90,
Well,
but he was my best friend. And
my dad passed away a few months ago. He was 92. For whatever reason, I had very little reaction because I thought he'd already lived an incredibly full life and basically accomplished everything that he could have.
I just miss him.
Right, I understand. You're right. I miss my dad too. You're right.
I guess that
I'm not saying my reaction was the best reaction.
No,
Just-
I know.
Right, for whatever reason.
No,
yeah.
I'm grateful
Yeah.
that he got to make it to 90 because I had a girlfriend of mine who passed away of cancer last weekend, and she's 55. And, I look at the difference in the age, right? And, my dad got a really long, wonderful life, and hers got cut short. So I'm grateful for that. It's just my selfish reasons of I miss him,
Right.
I spent a lot of time with him, so.
Before the Thay answers, yeah, Francisco already offered something that's very real that, everybody goes through a grieving process normally. There are these stages that people tend to go through,
Yeah.
and it just can't be helped. And
Yeah.
it just takes time. But yeah, if you ran a red light, that's a serious
Yeah, well,
problem.
I've never done that.
Right. And it suggests, like you're asking about, that you need to figure something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a hard time even meditating tonight. It was a real struggle.
I'll come to that.
Oh, I didn't lose my parents, so maybe I cannot understand your grief completely. But I just try to imagine if it happens on me, what I would deal with that emotion. I'm thinking, what if you think your dad is still with you? He's not living because you are his daughter, right? So a part of him is you, and if you love yourself, then you are still loving him, and he'll be happy.
That is really deep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
I was going to add too, just to give yourself some time to grieve. If you see your thoughts drifting, then it's better to take some time off. Most companies give you 3 days of bereavement. I know you have to, you have a lot to do. You have to take care of like funeral and all that, but you can still take PTO. So it's good to give yourself time.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Yeah, it's a good idea to consider it. You can always submit it, and if you don't take it, you can change your mind and say no, it's okay. So for some people, working, helps them. We call it process it. Some people just need time, time for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can always submit it, and you can always cancel that leave if you need to.
When my mom passed away, I cried a lot. And I was there when she was real sick and on her deathbed. And I read to her a lot, so there was a lot of very close contact, and it was very emotional. Went through a lot of emotion, and I kind of expressed my grief when she was on her deathbed. I cried a lot.
Yeah, I've lost my mom too, but I was closer to my dad, so.
Right, depends on,
Yeah.
that's part of it here too, because I was a lot closer to my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I cried so much.
My dad is the youngest one in my grandfather's children. He was the ninth one. And I watched the oldest uncle and aunt one by one passed away. So 8 of them passed away. I watched them. My cousin, I think 5 of them passed away. Some of them even younger than I am. So I was counting that I really experienced no less than 15 that passed away that I've known of. So to me, dying is nothing special at all. I don't know. So that doesn't mean that I can love them. I do love them. And when the first time I heard my uncle that contract illness, and I pray to the Buddha that I'm going to share some of my life, some of my times, please take some of my time, put it on him so he can live a little bit longer in such a case. But I always psych myself. I always prepare for what's coming, for next coming event. When I go to the doctor, I prepare for myself too. So not too long ago that I came to the doctor, and then she's suspicious, found that it could have been a serious problem, so she did a lot of tests on it. And I kept telling her, it's okay if it happened. I kept telling her that, and she was kind of worried. So she kept me there for quite long and tried, but after all, it didn't. The test, the result came fine. But I kept telling her it's okay if it happened, and I psyched myself like that. Just like I just said that my mom, she doesn't have much left, but I psyched myself for that too. So doesn't mean that I love her less than what you love your dad. No, it's just a matter of understanding this is part of life. This is part of it. Please.
Did the other Thay want to say something? Did she want to say something?
Well, I think I'm learning to listen and not English. But anyway, with my opinion, we all come here for karma. How we did in previous lives, and we come here to practice Buddhism to save our life better. So how we get the result. So practicing Buddhism is the way for us to have a more experience, to deal with things happening, to behave, to save ourselves, to share with people, to help ourselves, to have a better life. So one day when we leave this world, for the next life, we will have a better chance to go up. So that's all some living at present time. We all need to have mindfulness whenever things happen. to practice Buddhism, we have to do the thing happening in our way. Understand ourselves and understand people. The more we understand people, the more we realize how we deal with things, and we can take pity on them or help them or treat them or whatever happening. We can have more experience to deal with things and practicing Buddhism. Generally, that's what I think with karma when we only here as we are human. We are lucky to be human, to have life in here. And to me, especially, we know a little bit about Buddhism. The way save our life, help us to have a good experience. To have the help, actually, like we have so much thing happening in the world now, right? Crazy and everything. It needs to be more clear, more be helpful. So if we are lucky, the more we understand Buddhism, the more we practice, the more we can be the one who know, have a good knowledge somehow. So we can share and help each other, protect each other, to try together to help this society get better. Hopefully, everyone understands my opinion, right? And I need to learn a lot more English and vocabulary too.
May I ask, did you have a funeral for your dad?
We're waiting.
You're waiting, okay. Well, that might help a lot. At my dad's funeral, actually, I got very emotional. When I was actually putting the dirt into the grave, I really did. And the other people there didn't, for some reason. I don't understand why not. And also, at the funeral, and after we had what we would call a celebration of somebody's life, are you planning to have that for your dad? Okay. At the celebration of life, all the kids like you or me, we talked a lot. We gave little speeches and everything, a lot of reminiscences, and that really helped a lot for everybody.
Yeah.
And maybe that might give you some closure and help feel better.
I decided to wait because of the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And they live in Las Vegas, so
Yeah.
they're not local.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, my dad, he was in Galveston, Texas, and so we had to wait too. He passed away in January, and we didn't have the real funeral until May. Yeah, it's a little difficult. But the funeral did help a lot for the people in the family. There were 4 surviving kids.
One thing for sure that I'm very sure that this is this slogan that I heard a long time ago, maybe more than 50 years ago. Time heals everything. So it's as of right now, the crucial moment, we're in great grief, but as we live on, we become used to it, and then gradually that emotion gonna dissipate. So it's it's a good experience. It's a good experience to know what it is. Yes, because of lots of people. I think that many people that are afraid of it and try to avoid the inevitable thing. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. It's, I keep saying again, it's part of life. We cannot avoid it. No matter how fearful we are toward it, or no matter that how we try to prolong what it is right now, and we're going to come to an end. So, what's important is something like Gandhi was saying, the present time is more important. We live meaningful. We live happily. That's important. And everything will be a great experience for our future spirituality. Please stand up.
Were you able to identify what was going through your mind or what kind of state you were in when you ran the red light?
I just wasn't paying attention.
Not
Like
paying
I was, it was almost like I was unconscious. I don't know.
You were, the mind was concentrate on something else. Wow, this is the same case for an accident, because the mind was something else other than the present moment of driving, and therefore an accident happened. Yes. If we do study meditation, then this is a good experience of concentration, absorption, mental absorption. That the mind totally lost in emotion, and therefore what the present moment, what action in the present moment, we don't recognize it. That's all. So it's in a way it was dangerous, but in a way, another way, that if we can say something about meditation experience, then that is a good experience, because of if we can really observe that, Christy, we can really observe that is a stage of absorption.
Go ahead.
So, do you accept your grief? Like, do you accept?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was sick for a long time, and I was going down there all the time. So it's not like it was a surprise, but.
Yeah, for my dad, it was like a total surprise. He could have easily lived to 100. It was very surprising that he passed away. He was in very good health.
I just wanted to say I'm sorry for your losses, and I'll hold space for you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, my girlfriend, she chose to do dying with dignity, and that I just had a hard time wrapping my head around that. I mean, I understand why she chose that route.
Could you explain that a little bit?
She got a prescription and to drink. It's a drink, and she passed away 30 minutes later. So she chose to take her life.
And how old was she?
55.
That's very young. Why did she do that?
Stage 4 breast cancer.
Stage 4
She was
breast
like 80
cancer.
pounds. She was very, very sick.
All right.
And in a lot of pain.
But that was something that bothered you in some way? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I don't know. I'm just like, it just, to me, I don't know. To make that decision that you're going to just do something that will just then take your life, I don't know. I wasn't there. My other girlfriend was, but she said it was very surreal. They're having dinner, and at 7 o'clock, she drank the drink, and she was gone by 7:30. It just, I don't know. It just kind of.
I feel the same way you do about it. Right.
It's just weird.
It's very weird. I agree.
It's weird, but it happens.
It
Yeah.
happens.
Yes.
And I understand she just was tired of being in pain. But what a decision to make. Oh.
Yeah, 80 pounds is extremely skinny.
We would like to share the grief that what you have. try to experience that grieving because it's very precious. Grieving is an experience, is an energy connected between you and your dad. May that memory stay with you and strengthen you to your next step of whatever it is. And I'm quite sure that this will go away. May you find your happiness again. And if you live happily, you can send that energy of happiness toward your loved one. That would be the best thing to do. And we all share for what you have lost. And he's out there in better realm, letting down. And he always wanted you to be happy instead of being grieved. So may you be happy and joyful again for the sake of your loved one. Thank you. Okay. That was a good one.
Yes. Are you sleeping okay?
Yeah.
Good. Good. That's